Hello, friends. Welcome to Banking Frontiers. I'm Manoj Agrawal. I'm the group editor and happy to talk today with Mr. Govind Singh, who is the managing director and CEO of Utkarsh Small Finance Bank. Utkarsh Bank is one of the newer generation banks in the country, and I guess that makes Govind the new generation leader.
Hmm.
So I'm really happy to see what kind of interaction and inputs we get from him in this discussion. So, Govind, welcome to Banking Frontiers.
Yeah, thanks, Manoj. Thanks a lot for this call. Yeah.
For any bank, there is a choice today to be made between acquiring more customers and then having a deeper relationship with existing customers. So, what kind of investment patterns are you and the team making at Utkarsh Bank? Are you focusing more on acquiring new customers, or is the focus more on deepening the relationships? And maybe you can also tell how the pattern today is and what it was in the earlier days.
I can segment my customers into three buckets. So
Yeah.
first bucket is we have an existing customer. When I say existing means those are in existence for last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. The customer we have acquired in last 5 years. Right now, I'm not referring to JLG business because that was an
Okay.
old business with us, and there the customers are there with us for last 5 years, 7 years, even 10 years. A lot of customers are there. This is more about the newer customers that we have, those we have acquired after becoming a bank.
Okay.
So in those customers, there are three broad from the acquiring. There are three broad segments. One is the customer who are there with us for last 2, 3, 4 years. In those cases, two type of things are happening right now. One, there is a increase in their balances, whether it's a lending size or deposit size. Because normally what happens in a banking, when customer comes for the first time, they want to experience your service. So they may start with a very small relationship, and
Okay.
once they're comfortable with the technology, with the service, and overall interaction with the bank, they start building the balances. What also happens in banking, they will not make on day one their primary account, with the new account they have acquired. They will normally wait for some time. They get comfort, and sometime you have your EMIs or your any structured payments which goes from your operating account. So people will wait for some time. I think there is a set of customers who are acquired by us in the initial phase, and those are the customers now moving to where we can use the word cross sell and upsell. Increasing the balances and also going for new investments like investments or even now even loan type of products or insurance products.
Okay.
That is one segment of customers. Second segment of customers whom we are acquiring in the existing branches. So there are branches which are there for 4 years or 5 years in existence, and we have a set of customers. But now we get a lot of referrals from those customers. Because initially what happens, first 1.5 year time, you try to go to multiple locations within the geography, and you can say make the bank aware people, make the people aware about the bank. That does
Okay.
happen in the initial phase. In second phase, you get a lot of referrals. In fact, if you have opened their account, if you're happy with the bank, then they will refer to other your colleagues, your friends, your families, your own people. And so that is the second phase where we are going right now. This normally happens with the existing branches. So, and third set of customers where we are going to a new geography altogether. So, for example, we have opened a lot of branches, more than 200 branches during last 3 years' time, additional branches. Now, those are the places where we are acquiring new customers altogether. I mean, the initial phase with the customers, are in the initial phase right now, where they
Uh-huh.
are testing the services of the bank. They might have opened a small FD account, RD account, or a small savings account, and we expect once they are happy with the bank, then we'll see next 2 to 3 years time the accretion will into their accounts, or they are going for other services of the bank also. So broadly
Okay.
speaking, all these are in almost one third, one third, one third bucket. One third they are getting accretion from the existing customers. One third we are getting in the existing branches but new customers, and third we are going for the new branches altogether. And obviously the customer set is also new.
Okay.
That is how it is
Okay.
happening.
Okay. So, in terms of branches, I was reading that you recently added 22 branches
Yes.
on your 13th foundation day. According to that news item, you've reached 737 branches today. Uh, can you tell us about the profitability model for the newer branches versus the older branches, and the profitability model for the older geographies versus the newer geographies? How is those things rolling out?
Yeah. So broadly speaking, we have two type of branches. What we say, one branch which is the erstwhile microfinance branches. and we call them micro banking branches. So these are the branches where the main business is the microfinance or JLG model. So these are microfinance led branches. A second set of branches, what we call general banking branches, these are the liability led branches where the liability is the main business, getting deposits for the bank. In first set of branches, we are normally able to break even in next around 8 to 10 months time, because the overall operating cost is less, and we are able to build the portfolio because we are doing microfinance for last 13 years now. So we know the model well, and there is not much difference in the new geography and the old geography, because the overall process and how the build up of business happens, it is very similar. If I open a new branch say in Bihar tomorrow, and I open a new branch in Rajasthan, the difference will not be much, because we start this process from scratch. We acquire new customers, start disbursing loans to these customers. So it will range from maybe you can say 8, 9, 10, 12. That is the range, number of months, in fact, to break even for that branch. The second model, as I mentioned, where we are opening branches for liabilities, and there we are normally going for the top 100 centers in the country, because I mean, you can say metros and urban centers. And Manoj, what happens in our case, in deposit business, you have to compete with the best of the universal banks and established banks, because the guy who is coming for liability, they will compare what is happening in established SBI, ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank. So they will not say, they would like to have the best of these services from Utkarsh also. They will compare with those. So if you see my look and feel, our products, our processes, our technology, all our channels, all are at par with any of the established bank. There are two things happen. One is the cost is higher. Setting our branches, even the rentals are higher in those cases, and even the accretion in the accounts takes a little longer time. So in those branches, typically it's around 2 to 3 years time that takes to achieve break even for those branches. So new branches which are hardcore liability led branches, it is 2 to 3 years time, and for micro banking branches which are microfinance led branches, it's around 9 to 12 months time. We are able to achieve break even. We also have get some support from when we open a general banking branch. We also open, for example, MSME desk in those branches, or housing desk, or wheels desk nowadays. So those also help us in achieving little early, as far as the break-even part is concerned. But this is the broad, you can say, economics of opening of new branches.
So what is your current ratio of liability-led branches versus asset-led branches?
So we have more than 200, liability-led branches, and more than 500 are our what we say
Asset.
asset. I mean, micro banking branches. So it's almost 30% branches are what we call general banking branches with us. I mean, broadly speaking.
Okay.
I want to tell one thing about this part. Typically, what happens in general banking branches, the number will look smaller, but because the size of general banking branches is never an issue. I mean, you can have even 500 crore branch or 1,000 crore branch. But the moment we talk of micro banking branches, because where the still lot of interaction with the customer happens, the ticket size is smaller, and there is a lot of manual intervention today also, because they come to branch, they fill up their forms. After coming to branch, also a lot of things happen. So there we don't try to have a very large branch, in fact. Whereas in case general banking, there is no restriction at all. So that number will also be different. For MP, always it is large number of branches, whereas for hardcore liability, the number of branches will be lesser.
Which kind of geographies are you veering towards in your expansion, adding new branches?
I'll break our business into three parts. One is the microfinance or micro banking branches, because there we are doing, as I mentioned, we are doing for last 13 years. So our core geography of central and Hindi belt, you can say, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Vidarbha in Maharashtra, now Rajasthan, Haryana, Uttarakhand. So these are our geography, and we don't
Okay.
to go to too many new states. In fact, we don't intend to go to south in immediate future. We don't intend to go to northeast in immediate future. So there, this we are looking more the same geography. We are not going to too many geographies. So that is one type of business. Second type of business is, as I mentioned, our liability business. There we are an all India player. We started with our core area of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh. Then we went to northern part of the country like NCR, and then Chandigarh, Punjab, Haryana. Then we went to places like Rajasthan, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Maharashtra. So currently we cover almost, broadly speaking, all the relevant states. Almost 23 states and UTs are already covered by us, and we'll be a national player for that. And there is no skew in favor of any one geography as far as liability business is concerned.
Okay.
And third is our other than joint liability group or other than microfinance business in terms of asset side. So again, we normally start with our UP, Bihar, Jharkhand because we are very old there and people do more, know more, than any other geography. And our head office is here, so it's very easy for or very convenient for us also to have any pilot from these places. So normally we
Okay.
start with these places. Whenever we open a new, you can say product line, we start with this geography, but then gradually we move to other locations also. So there again, when we talk of MSME or housing, wheels or small corporates, again we have a nice all India footprints. We started with central and eastern belt and then northern belt. Then we went to western part, and now last year we have also gone to south also. So again, we'll have a national all India footprint as far as the other than microfinance loan book is concerned. So broadly, this is the structure we
Okay.
are following.
What are the brand nuances that have emerged as the business has rolled on, as you've engaged a variety of customer segments? What are the nuances in the brand?
So for us, maybe that may be our DNA. We look more towards the relationship banking or engagement with the clients. In fact, so whatever we do, obviously we do a lot of digital part, and where sometimes we feel that digital may not require touching the customer. But my sense is, interacting with the customers becomes very important. That is how we look at. So brand building, may the most important part for us is, I mean, besides the on conventional and non-conventional methods of branding, but I think the engagement with the customer or the deeper relationship with customer is very important. And I always believe that banking is all about relationship. In fact, there are people who have been dealing with one bank for last 30 years, 40 years. They don't plan to change their bank. In fact, because they are getting a type of service they are getting from those places. I think engaging with customers and deeper relationship with customer. I think all our brand initiatives are focused towards that. Obviously, when we say we try to create awareness about the brand, creating awareness about the bank, because you as a new entity, and especially when what happens, Manoj, when you go to the newer geography, when I'm going to south. So, for example, in north, because we were operating as an NBFC MFI, so at least
Hmm.
we are known to people. But that's not
Yes.
the case when I go to Karnataka or in Hyderabad or in Tamil Nadu type of places. I think there our first efforts through our direct channels as well as through various branding exercises and media interactions, you can say, are always to create awareness about the brand, awareness about the bank. That remains the first thing for sure. But the moment we are able to get some awareness, we talk more about the services and the engagement with the customers. And I think in near future also, next 3 to 5 years horizon, I think customer centricity and customer engagement, customer relationship, and followed by service and obviously with technology. These are going to be our mantra, and this is how we are going to reach out to the customers. And an entire branding exercise will be evolve around these initiatives.
Give us some examples of things that you've done to engage employees in long-term impact projects where they may not get recognized as employee of the month or employee of the year, but still their contribution is meaningful.
Hmm. No, certainly, I think that's very important, Manoj. When people come from established, old, large banks, and coming to a foreign institution, so sometimes they will find, I mean, why should I get into this institution? Sometimes they will say, even we don't know. I mean, there is certainly uncertainty when you start a new institution. So I normally use the terminology, not the employee engagement. I use the word employee involvement. In fact, it's very important to involve employees. They should feel that this is my own institution. So we do a lot of activity towards that. Our what we call we have a buddy mitra program where a new employee, is mentored by one of the existing employee. And because in initial phase, and especially we are also in a phase where a lot of things are getting in place now. May not be in place today. You go to an established bank of 100 years, 60 years, everything is in place today. For banks like our size, maybe it normally takes around 10 to 15 years to reach that level. In fact, when we can say now everything is set up, the process is set, and all these things are set. So I think these buddy mitra type of programs help us a lot. We engage a lot of reward and recognition programs where we are able to engage with people and meet these people. I myself do a lot of town halls, in fact, and especially during last 2.5 years when COVID period was there, people are not able to meet the I mean, the customer as well as the employee. We did a lot work on the town hall, and town hall has become a way of life now. And it's a two-way town hall where people can also be, and it happens at various levels. Seniors, juniors, all employee at one place. So we do multiple type of town halls to engage with people. We do a lot of training initiatives. I mean, not only the functional training, but all this skill development, because we look our employee as a future leaders, and we always engage, encourage the people who are already with us, whether they can be put to uh, higher responsibility with the proper training programs. In fact, we have engaged with a lot of institutions also where our middle management can go and learn newer things. We
Okay.
engage our lot of employees in the new projects. In fact, besides the obviously day-to-day things are there, but a lot of new projects keep happening, and we engage our employees in those, and especially junior and middle management. We prefer those should be a part of that. Besides, maybe certain things we have done very unique is when we have got a mentoring exercises. So in fact, last year we did a lot of for middle management, and a lot of our top management people have chosen a few set of people. In fact, maybe 5, 7, 10 people who are mentoring these people on various things and developing. And Manoj, you'll be happy to know that even I have chosen 8 people in the institution whom I'm mentoring myself. I meet them on almost on a once in a month, twice in a month, and how they can shape as a leader. And I don't try to tell them this is for the Utkarsh. As a human being, as a professional, how can you go to next level? In fact, so I have engaged, rather engaging with right now 8 people on this front, and that yielding a lot of results. In fact, because
Okay.
people see that they can, yeah, a junior bacha, who has done just 3, 4, 5 years experience, and he or she is able to engage with the MD and understand what type of future, not only with Utkarsh, but as a overall, as a person, as a professional lies there. So I think these are the ways, some of the initiatives which are really yielding good results for us.
Okay. That sounds very interesting. Have you what kind of definition of a leader do you use when you engage in this mentoring? You and not just you, but everyone. There must be some kind of uniform understanding about the term leadership.
Yeah. So, leadership is, those who are able to, able to go extra mile. That's important. And
Okay.
those who are able to think little differently. I think it's more important to think. And in our institution, and because banking is all about execution, we make them to focus not about thinking, but also about the execution. The quality of execution, how it can be important. Two things I normally talk, and you can say this is our theme for this year. One is relevant. In fact, when I talk of leadership, you should be relevant. It's very important to be relevant as an institution, as an individual, and as a even department. Whatever you do, it should be relevant. So relevance will come from multiple things, but most important thing is that what is my contribution to myself and my society and my institution. That comes in various shape and sizes. And second, we talk about a leader is who is able to realize his own true potential. So and this could be different for different people. So we encourage people to look at their own potential, whatever you are doing, not in terms of money, but in terms of overall fulfillment, overall you are satisfying yourself. What is that you can achieve in life, in fact. And again, not as a
Okay.
hardcore commercial institution, I'm not talking, in fact, as a leader, as a successful human being. In fact, what is that you can do? So that is what we encourage these people to look at. Just don't look at a very small portion of life. Life is,
Okay.
it's a long term, and look at the long term plans. Look at your 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and how you can contribute to yourself and to your institution. And I think we always encourage people to be fearless and take risk. In fact, I think that's another important aspect for any leader, any manager. They should be able to take calculated risk. I mean, just not any risk. In fact,
Okay.
they should be able to calculate things. They should be able to comprehend things. In fact, and express themselves. So I think these some of
Okay.
the things we talk to these people, and I also focus a lot on the communication part, not only the oral but even the formal communication. When it becomes
Okay.
serious, it's important to also understand the formal communication. In today's era of when technology has moved so fast, we all are in abbreviations. So I think I always
Hmm.
tell them it's equally important to understand the formal language when you are writing to regulators, when you are making board notes. I think we try to you can say uh, create an environment where people learn those things also, not only the SMS language, but which is
Okay.
happening nowadays. Yeah.
What would you say is transformation in the country that you're seeing that is indicated by IPOs coming out of Uttar Pradesh of various organizations? What has been the trend? What is your understanding?
One part is that when we about the Utkarsh itself. So when we became bank, a lot of people came to me and told, no, no, I think as a bank you can't operate from Banaras. Getting talent is difficult. Getting infrastructure is difficult. How will you handle all those things? Better to move to Bombay and Delhi type of places, because otherwise running a bank, because there is no bank headquarter. Manoj, in the entire area, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, there is no scheduled commercial bank headquarter in this area, in our
Right.
core. The nearest one will be the NCR. There are a lot of banks are in NCR, and then a place like Bangalore or Bombay. So I told no, it is possible to operate from this place, and we did two things. One was on the talent part. So initially we had all people from Varanasi only, but we have a small setup in Bombay, so that in case some people have to, especially some of the functions like treasury or IT, they require a big support from Bombay. So we have one extension of head office in Bombay, but largely our major teams operates from Varanasi. We have been able to invest a lot on the talent part, and there are a lot of people, what also happened, Manoj, who want to come back to home, their roots, in fact, their roots. So there are a lot of places, they may not from Varanasi, they may from Kanpur, from Agra, from Lucknow, from Patna. Now they are looking at whether they can come back and contribute. So we have a lot of such people, and that's why it's now possible to run a bank, or have a global bank from Varanasi, or this type of place. Second, the challenge was the infrastructure. So in this belt, I mean, the corporate infrastructure, what you look for a bank headquarter was not available. Even getting a 20,000 square feet floor plate in Varanasi is really difficult today also, to run a bank. So we thought that we'll construct our own corporate office. So currently we have a Utkarsh Tower now. It's a two-stilled ground plus 8-story building, which is comparable to any building you'll find in Mumbai, with all latest amenities, and it's on bang on highway when you come from Varanasi to airport. So that is what we did, so that we don't see that we are anywhere lesser than Bombay or Delhi in terms of talent, and in terms of infrastructure, in terms of training setup. With technology, and second portion is with technology going up, increase, you can say the distance is not that relevant. I mean, obviously, always face to face meeting is better, but still the type of requirement being face to face, there are not so many means to connect with people who are there. Now because of technology, I think it is possible to operate from a distance places. That is one part. And second, Uttar Pradesh as a whole also, we are seeing a lot of development happening. UP Bihar has seen a stable government for a long time now. I think for any development of in any geography, stable government is very important. It can be from any party. It's not because of political linkages, but it is a stable government, because that gives a very good signal to the rest of the world, and to the people who want to operate from that area. So because for
Hmm.
quite some time in both the large states where we operate, we are seeing a stability in the government, that is helping a cause. And that's why you'll see a lot of entities will set up their operations in these places, and the moment they become large, they will have their IPOs from this area. So my
Okay.
sense is, one is the overall our own thought process, second is the technology part, and third the development those are happening in these two states. I think all are indicating that there are lot more companies which will come from you can say hinterland, or from UP Bihar, and in this type of geography.
How are you seeing micro entrepreneurs in the so-called hinterland becoming smarter or something else?
Yeah. No, certainly, Manoj, they are becoming smarter. And not only what, during last 13 years, I've seen the entrepreneurs which were, I'll use the word slow, and they're just looking for whether something will happen or government will do something. I think they are much more agile today. And I'll use, sometimes they may be even looking aggressive also today, that they want to do something. And, what, I mean, if I see they are now today aspiring to do something bigger, in fact. And as I mentioned, with the advent of technology and digitization, and with mobile and technology available across, the Jandhan has also helped in a big way, because now money is moving through their accounts. So and Aadhaar as a you can say KYC as a basic document. I think these things have helped the basics of you can say business, because now there is an
Okay.
identity, there is a technology, and there's a basic bank account with these people. And as I mentioned, because of the stability in the government, I think they are able to do much better work than what they were able to do earlier. The markets are improving. The markets are expanding in the smaller towns, semi-urban area, rural area, and even small towns like Gazipur, Jaunpur, and those type of places. It is certainly expanding. the moment is expands. I mean, they don't have to go to say Bombay, Delhi, or Kolkata now. They can see their own markets are expanding, and I think the type of resilience also we have seen from these institutions. So they do face a lot of challenges, and with support in terms of life insurance, in terms of health insurance, also that is helping. And you also mentioned about the education part, the education and the skill development part. We have seen a lot of focus, private as well as by the public sector or by the government sector. I think, I mean, there may not be there may not be that all three are working together, but by working together, by working in the state, they are able to help these people some way or other. So even the skill development part we are seeing and market development we are seeing. So I think all these are you can say giving the more confidence to the same segment which was not so confident 10, 12, 15 years back. And I think funding has also eased out. I think we are getting funding is much easier again because of the, we can say, the bank account have being there, Aadhaar being there, the technology being there, and people are also doing a little bit more. Your all your accounts are moving through your bank now. Earlier people used to do a lot of cash economy. Cash is important, I'm not saying cash is not there, but people are trying to move those cash also through their bank accounts only. So all these things are helping in a big way, and overall environment is conducive right now. So and my sense is, because, and these are the real entrepreneurs. It may have, having only two employee, four employees, six employee, but they are the really true entrepreneur, and they keep thinking about what next. And biggest plus, Manoj, I have seen in this segment, I'm talking the micro and middle segment of entrepreneurs, whose requirement would be say 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh. That segment, I think they always think about their next generation. I mean, obviously, you also think, I also think about that part, but I think they think that their bacha should get a good education. They will work extra miles to ensure that they are a better human being and better professional going forward. So this segment is more focused on the welfare of the family. They're much more focused, uh, and and the type of focus is little different than what we see in a middle segment. Middle segment are generally better off. They want their bacha should do much better going forward. No doubt about that. But because this segment we are talking of, they were deprived in past for multiple reasons. They could not do something. They started working at the age of 12. All those things were there. They
Right.
don't want the same thing to be repeated for their next generation. So they work a lot on this part, and little development in terms of health space also. It is not yet reached a level where you can say it is very good, but I think that is also also helping. So overall environment has become conducive. The way India is growing, I think the way India is shining. My sense is future lies with these micro enterprises only, and we have seen that happening in last few years. I mean, they're focused on their future, and I mean the resilience part is very strong for these people for sure.
These micro entrepreneurs, where you could provide them something other than just finance, some kind of guidance, some kind of literacy, some kind of leadership training, like you're doing for employees. Do you see something like that happening, or is the organization already working with anyone to impart something extra?
So we have a foundation. When we started our NBFC MFI in 2009-10, we also started a foundation which is working on financial literacy, health programs. We also do a lot of village development program schemes. In fact, even the kids who are studying in schools, but we have seen their English and their arithmetic is actually weak. It is not up to the level. We train them. We have seen that people are even small scientific test or practicals they are able to do through those initiatives. We are doing little initiatives on the type of vegetables people can grow in. I'm talking to local farmers. We are doing that part. We have done a large program on the entrepreneurial development, and we have chosen some of the entrepreneurs from there. We have some you can say some partners who also supported in those programs. So we have
Oh,
done a from that we have almost more than 15 lakh beneficiaries under those programs, in health, education, entrepreneur development, child development, and these programs. And this is continuing, in fact. So that's a very engaging program, and we do normally in 5 to 6 core states as far as Utkarsh is concerned. And this entrepreneur development is certainly very key, very close to our heart, because we always believe that these people will be the future of India, and it's like that we grow together. I mean, these entrepreneurs and we both grow together. So that is also happening. Uh, I take your point. Maybe we can do little more on the leadership part. I think that we may not have directly so far. We have done indirectly. In fact, we do a lot of other activities also, including we have a Varanasi marathon also we did this time. But a lot of such activities we keep doing. But I take your point. I think maybe mentoring or leadership for some of these people we can initiate. That's a good point from your side. Maybe I'll explore that part also.
Thank you so much for all those wonderful insights.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Manoj.